This is the Dark Souls of blank. As generic as the phrase has become, Shattered Tale of the Forgotten King wears its inspiration on its sleeve. Combining the art style of something like Hollow Knight with the combat of Dark Souls, it creates one promising concept for a new action adventure. Your journey begins in Hypnos, a collapsing kingdom that looks like a 3D Hollow Knight game. After the king of this once beautiful kingdom disappeared, chaos and despair reigned and society fell apart. You play as the Wanderer, a figure who wakes up in this world now seeking out the answers as to how the world fell apart. It's a dangerous world though, one where monsters have begun rising all across the kingdom. Your only guides are the small whisper figures that can speak to you despite us being the silent protagonists. Now this is an early access game, that means it's still being developed, it's still missing features, has some bugs, quite a few of them too, but more on that later. I played the first few hours leading up to the first boss fight to get a general feel for how Shattered would play. I was surprised to see how nimble the Wanderer controlled. Despite having a Dark Souls-like feeling to the gameplay, the Wanderer handles like a light character that can land some heavy attacks. He can sprint, double jump, dash, and roll to his heart's content, or rather until his stamina gauge runs out. This design choice is used cleverly throughout the gameplay to introduce platforming sections to what would otherwise just be a boss rush game. Instead, there's plenty of sprinkled in moments where the camera will pan over to a 2D side-scroller view. It completely changes the feeling of the game, but also made for some exciting moments. They tended to not overstay their welcome, but did provide a breath of fresh air every time they popped up. Primary gameplay will have you in the third-person view as you explore the world around you, looking for keys, activating checkpoints, and taking on monsters. In these moments, it truly does feel like a Dark Souls game got thrown into a blender with something like Ratchet & Clank. I'm sure that sounds weird, but somehow it works here. Combat has you using light and heavy attacks with the sword that you start off with, and holding down the attack button charges up those attacks. As for defenses, the Wanderer can either block or dodge oncoming enemies. Figuring out the attack patterns for lower tier enemies is simple, it's the bigger boss fights that feel like a greater and more entertaining challenge. The first boss, for example, rushes at you sending projectile sword slashes. Suddenly you're not just dodge rolling, but you're also jumping, dashing, and sneaking your way up behind them. It's much more fun and gives you a taste of what's in store with this game. Outside of that, there's a handful of RPG elements throughout Shattered. As you take down enemies, you're leveling up and increasing your battle stats. There's also an inventory system to manage, although at the moment it feels a bit bare bones with an incredibly simplified UI. Certainly, it's something that'll be fleshed out on in future updates. Now, sadly with this being an early access game, there's a lot of bugs here. It's easy to break through invisible walls you're not supposed to, sometimes you won't respond at the right checkpoint, enemies will freeze, and hit detection will be off. I even had the boss UI completely break. Yes, this is an early access game, things like this are always expected, but I think the amount of bugs right now is a bit much for a game charging $24.99. You can't even modify the audio or video settings right now, that's how bare bones it is. That's not to say that this project is bad, in contrast I think it shows a lot of promise for something that can be great once it's done. I genuinely hope that turns out to be the case. For the time being, it's a game that you should definitely keep your eye on as the game developers are working hard on the feedback they've gotten so far.